Basic music theory to help you make sick beats in FL Studio. First, let's set the scale. Click this arrow, go to View, Scale Highlighting, and you can choose any key from here. For this example, I'm going to be working in A minor. If you're a beginner, I recommend doing the minor scale or the major. Just use this as a guideline. You don't have to stick to the scale, just do what sounds good. So we're in A minor. These are all the notes that are in A minor. A minor has 7 notes, same with all the other scales. 8 if you include the A again, which is just a whole octave. So these 7 notes are basically your building blocks for building chords and whatever else, notes, melodies, all of that. Making chords is actually really simple. I say in all my videos, let's make a 1-6-3 progression or another numbered sequence, and I know a lot of you get confused. All this means is basically making triad chords on top of the scale notes. So for example, if I mean a 1-4 progression, which is a common trap chord progression, it means putting notes on the first note in the scale and then the 4th note in the scale. The first is A, then the 4th is D. And then what you do is, you skip a note in the scale, put a note, you skip another note in the scale, put a note, and that's your triad chord. Do that for the other one. Now you have your triad chords, you can make different chords on top of them. By skipping another note in the scale, and putting a note, that becomes a 7th. If you skip another note in the scale, put a note, that's a 9th. And you do it again, that's an 11th. Play around with this, see what sounds good to you. Now once you have your chords, you can do a lot of different things to them. Let's start with some inversions. Moving the 3rd, which is your middle note, down an octave, is a first inversion. Moving the 5th, which is the last note of the triad, down an octave is a second inversion. You could do this for any chord. That was the basic of inversions, but if you want to have your chords have a bit more sadness and emotion in them, you can move the 3rds up an octave. You can also strum out your chords like this. All these are basically just guidelines. It all comes down to what sounds good to your ear. That's all music theory is, a guideline. Now with melodies, it's best not to overcomplicate melodies. To just make catchy and memorable ones, all you want to do is just hum it out on top of your chord, or if you want to hum it out before your chord, you can do that. I personally think that's the best way to do it. I used to overcomplicate them, and it used to make my tracks sound shit and not memorable. For example, is how I made this one. That's all I did. A little tip when making melodies is to use chord notes. You want to use chord notes on the strong beats, which is the 1 and the 3. So if you're counting on your metronome like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every time you count the 1 and the 3, that's where you should put your chord notes. And then on the other weaker beats, you can put non-chord notes to build tension or passing notes. Again, this is just what I do. You do whatever's good to your ear. Just use this as a guideline. 808s and bass notes is dead simple. People overcomplicate this as well, but all I do, I literally find out the root note of my sample or the chords I've made, then just put the bass notes on the root notes.